most vulnerable assets, and one of the most important tools in protecting that asset is reconciling the bank account every month, making sure that our totals for cash agree with the bank's totals for cash. So let's reconcile the bank account. Okay, so here's some facts about a minor video company. The cash balance per the bank statement, they open up the bank statement and the bank says they have $7,263. However, they look at their books and the books say they have $7,284. We have to figure out why the difference. So there's some bank service charges. So we don't know about those. We're minor video. We don't know about those until we open up our bank statement. Deposits in transit were $1,500. We marked those down in our books that we made that deposit, but they haven't arrived at the bank yet as of July 31st. And there's some good news. The bank went out and collected a note for us. A customer owed us some money. They owed us $900 in principal and $36 in interest. The bank collected that for us, put that in our bank account for us, and charged us a $20 fee. And finally, outstanding checks as of July 31st were $591. In other words, we know we wrote the checks because we wrote them in our checkbook, but the bank doesn't know that because they haven't been presented to them for payment yet. All right, so now we have enough information to reconcile our bank account. One very simple way to attack these problems is to simply tell the bank what it doesn't know and tell our books what they don't know. And when everybody has all the facts, everyone should have the same numbers. So the balance per the bank is the $7,263. Well, what doesn't it know about? Well, it doesn't know about the deposits in transit. In other words, we wrote down in our books that we deposited $1,500, but maybe it's still in the mail. Maybe we made the deposit on August 1st, so as of July 31st, it isn't on the bank statement. Whatever reason, it's called the deposit in transit, and it doesn't appear on the bank statement. So let's add it. The other thing that the bank doesn't know about is outstanding checks. We know we wrote them, but the bank doesn't learn about them until the person we wrote the check to presents it to the bank for payment. So we have to subtract outstanding checks. If there were bank errors, we'd put them in up here too in this upper half. But usually this is all you have to do on the bank side. Add the deposits in transit, subtract the outstanding checks, and you get an adjusted or a correct balance of $8,172. Okay, what don't our books know about? Well, I like to think about the good news. And there's seldom good news in a bank statement. But in this case, there is. The bank collected a note. A customer owed us some money, and the bank went out and collected it for us. They collected $900 in principal and interest of $36. They also charged us a $20 fee. Since I'm breaking this down into good news and bad news, let's just put the good news in first. I'm going to break it down into principal and interest because that'll make it easier in a minute here when we do our journal entries. I think that's it for the good news in the bank statement. What's the bad news? Well, the bad news is the monthly service charge of $28 and the service charge of $20 they charged us for collecting the note. So I think we've told our books everything they didn't know about. So hopefully when we do the arithmetic, we'll get the same total. Sure enough, $8,172. And if there were errors that we made, we'd also make those corrections down here. Again, bank errors are handled in their half, and our errors are handled in our half. Terrific. So now we've reconciled the bank account. We just have to make journal entries now to reflect this information down here. So now we have to literally tell our books what they don't know. So we're going to debit cash for $936, credit note receivable for $900, credit interest revenue for $36, expense or debits, expense or debits, expense or debits. So we're going to debit bank service charge for $28 and credit cash for $28, debit bank service charge for $20 and credit cash for $20, and now our books are up to date. And that's all there is to a bank reconciliation.